Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. A good day in the market. It's Monday, September. I think I've been saying August. It's September 8th, right? Yeah, wow. September 8th. Keep saying August. We're going to review 0-day options today on SPY I took and our small account challenge. It's a tight range today, but good price action for me. I don't know. I just do well on days like this. Better than, I don't know, trend days, I guess, or continuation days. I don't know. Hopefully I'm just getting better at all days, but let's review it. Yeah, so actually I missed the morning. Missed this action. I got in, let's see, like here, like right about there. So really only could have seen potential for this red build liquidity and catching a call on a support or a retracement / breakout trade. Kind of exactly like what we had. Let's see if I didn't really prep for this, but what we had wasn't this day, it wasn't Friday, it was Thursday. Yeah, I don't have it loaded. Same sort of structure setup where it had this bulls building liquidity in the selling, and so I'm looking for supports to go long, for a move at least to the resistance, if not the break. I guess you could put that up there somewhere. Anyways, I missed this trade, but yeah, could have gotten calls here, could have gotten them here, and then first profit and then second profit on this cup close. And there was one more trade here with the little handle. Not sure what I would have caught of this. Hard to know, but I imagine I would have caught one of these, either falls down there or somewhere in this cup and handle. I would have found an opening. Not a whole lot of action after that though, so I didn't miss a whole lot. I mean, that was a nice, at least one or two trades there, but yeah, I came in here, kind of was, I don't know, Monday, kind of just trying to take it easy, go slow. Charted this white for aggressive buying. Let's see, purple we had there, and then put in this more mellow bearish controlled buying white, but that wasn't maybe until a little bit later, with these three resistances right here. It did break it and retest it a little bit past the spot, I guess, but kind of the right idea. On this, so this could have been a break on this with this head and shoulder here. I didn't take it. I was, yeah, kind of trying to take it slow and just, yeah, not be too aggressive. Range was still quite tight. On the 30-minute, we were just kind of, there was a gap below us. We gapped up a small amount, but we're kind of in a wedge still above 5-day. So, yeah, didn't grab that one. Purple here though, this would have been a nice long. I didn't take that either. I don't know, it's kind of like my head wasn't quite in the game this morning. I was just yeah, I was doing stuff that was kind of preoccupying my mind space, I guess. Didn't get this call here. No inverse cups closed, so not super anxious to go short. However, this did pretty nicely retest that breakout, so getting puts back there potentially, or break on this purple, which was actually a nicer setup. Breaking the purple here and then retesting it, as well as with VWAP, and you have your little mini head and shoulders here. The move down after that wasn't, well, I guess it would have been fine. Wasn't the greatest, not a huge move. But then we got another one, which I think there was a flatter, bearish controlled buying channel that Eric and Emperor had, which I hadn't charted in. I think that's where this found support right here with here. Mini little head and shoulders here with a retest on VWAP. I think actually I did take this trade. Let me just review these trades here real quick. I'm very pleased about today, and I have something funny to share. I guess it's not funny. It's kind of sad, but funny in a sad way. I like dark comedy. Let's see, 1232. Was that this move? Yeah. Okay, so didn't catch anything before here. This is my first trade, and I'm looking for a move to close inverse cup, potentially then to fill the gap, potentially then to hit 5-day. Those are kind of the three major spots on the way down. This one was a bit intuitive. So let's see, we had red, it was kind of grinding down in. We'd broken the purple, broken this white, retested the white, broke the purple again. And at this point, yeah, I guess I was just thinking I missed this short opportunity and was looking for another opportunity to get in. Ideally, it would have been, come up to this red. It would have been a nice, easy stop. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. Puts up here would have been great. It didn't. It made just a little retrace to VWAP. I didn't take it on the VWAP just because, yeah, for that reason, my stop would be up here. So kind of waiting for it to break. It did start to break. I kind of recognized it as just a small head and shoulders. And so yeah, I got put there. 1232 on this candle, kind of towards the beginning, and it was as it was breaking this purple. So same deal. I'm trying to think if I had some assistance from Emperor's charts. No, I wasn't even actually looking at his at that point. Did he catch us? He did catch it. He caught it on the retrace, so he got it up here based on resistance. So yeah, they had a magenta. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, got one there, and now at this point I'm gonna tell you, strike prices, IV, premium all change every day and are constantly changing. It's dynamic pricing, right? So it's always changing, and I don't know why, but I don't always look at the strikes. I'm looking at the delta. I'm looking at how far out of the money. I'm looking at the IV. I'm looking at some of the Greeks, but what I need to be doing is looking at those things as well as the actual strike and where my target is. I think I'm missing out on a lot of profits. Just reviewing Eric's trades and his strikes. There'll be times when I take the trade and I enter and exit basically the same time as him, and I'll have 100% and he has like 500%. And that happened today, and I'm like, why have I not been paying more attention to strikes, especially on SPX, because on Active Trader Pro and Fidelity I'm trading SPX and I'm looking at the dollar amount. I don't even look at the strike, which I'm just complacency, I'm not sure, but I'm looking at the dollar amount because I know how much I want to invest in each trade. But on days where the IV is super low, today was insane, it was like 10%. On those days, it's like I got to be looking at it because I was actually getting contracts that were in the money, and it was silly because if I had gotten it 2 strikes further out, it would have gone, instead of 100%, it would have gone 500%. So I'm gonna make a rule. I definitely need to look at the strikes, and I like to aim for my profit target, but to be in the money by the profit target. So on this case right here, I would have gotten, let's see, we got 647.89, 47. Yeah, so I would have probably aimed for 648 strike because that would have put me just in the money for my take profit. I don't want to be out of the money still. I mean, that's fine, but that's basically how I want to do it. So these, let's see, what were they? These were 648. So this was the first strike. It was later in the day where I'll tell you, it was actually a crazy move. Anyway, so 648's got them here, got one here, closed. So it's for 48 cents and closed it at 1237. So I had green as a kind of a precision and the aggressive selling here. But the problem was it started to kind of find support on this red, and then it actually broke through, which was nice. So I got nice slippage on this thing. Look at this. This candle, volume came in. It was really hard. I almost sold it earlier on. I was like, this is starting to just sell in such a mellow channel. Because if you're looking at green, it kind of broke it there. And I'm like, I'm just going to kind of keep holding it. Hopefully get low a day. And it did. It perfectly wicked down there. And it was actually even like when it was there, I was also like, maybe I should just hold it because there's a gap down here. Of course, if it kept going, that would have been fine. It would have been a little sad, but it worked out. So the market was nice to me and didn't just flush without me. So I got a great exit on here, 48 cents to 78 cents. So not quite 100%, but for this small of a move, it was pretty nice. Strike price was right, and I got great slippage on the exit. Just calling low a day for this inverse cup to close. So then, let me check actually here. Where's my first trade on here? Okay, not till then, 126. So then, first trade in the books. nearly 100%. Still have buying power of like 80 bucks maybe. Bounce back up, looking for a handle to form. But it's potential, you know, it's possible we don't form a handle and just crash today or do a big move, which we didn't. We did form some handles and some downside, but where we are in the longer time frame doesn't. The liquidity is basically much further down, so it's possible we just kind of liquidity build in this wedge, which is what we did. However, there can still be a handle and some move, which we got. So started building liquidity. Let's see, did I do another trade right in here even? I almost did. When it, yeah, actually I was a little upset because I fully saw this and I like looked away, I was checking emails or something, and like perfectly retest the break of that purple. And even this little trade, it's dumb. I should have paid closer attention to even grab that. Again, like it's seeing it now, it's like, oh, that's such a small move, and it is. But this could have very easily been the handle, and it could have just flushed. So I'm happy I didn't, because I guess having buying power later was nice. Next one was at 12.55. It was one put. Oh, yeah, this was a sick entry. So since the fact that I missed this and it came down, I'm like, wait a minute. So I was grateful it didn't flush, and I just waited and waited, and it came back up. And I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna miss this time. Given it's not at my resistance up here of red, but it is still retesting the break of this purple. So I actually got it literally on that candle. Was it 12.50? Yeah, 12.55 for 38 cents. This was another 6.48. Yeah. Do they do half strikes? I can't remember on SPY. No, it's just whole dollar. So I could have gotten a 6.47 here. I don't know. I'll have to look at the chart and see which one did better. Because my profit target, well, no, let's see. It was here, and profit target would have been probably low a day again, 6.47. So I think 6.48 was probably fine. This was a $38 contract. Open at 12.55. It's just so much easier to manage when you get good entries. So getting those risky entries, which is how I look at them, like risky entries, even though it's the safest because it's the closest to your stop, but it's risky because for whatever reason to me it's still the scariest. Than kind of chasing a breakout, I guess. But getting those risky entries is just so much easier if you're right to just manage. So held this one, 38 cents, closed it at 106 for 50 cents. So not a huge one, but happy with it nonetheless. Wait, where is that? Oh yeah, right here, 106. Didn't quite get that bottom candle, but and got a little bit of negative slippage on this green candle. It basically broke my green. I wanted low of day again, but I didn't want to turn a green trade red. It broke my green, and I think it was maybe a couple more dollars here. It was like maybe $4 or $5 more bucks. So I closed it on that green candle. Small gainer there. I was happy about my entry though. Took profits. Seeing it now, I'm just, you know, that makes me happy I did that. That way, wasn't greedy, and took a risky entry. And then, yeah, then it came down and made another, you know, inverse up, cup, mini, whatever. Still building liquidity. Still more handle to be formed. And yeah, then we'll jump over to the big account. So at this point, I'm like, all right, small account's good. Let me look at the big account, see what I can do on there. With some of this midday buying power, I'm just naturally a little more loose about my entries, meaning I'm trying to transfer that loose, more risky entry into the small account. Because the big account, I'm not thinking as much about being stopped out, just because I can get back in. So big account got one. Okay, this is the one where I should look at my strike. I don't usually look at SPX strikes because I'm not looking at the SPX chart. So that's where I said it's just the dollar amount. 126, I got 2 for 750. And these were, yeah, so these were 6,500 puts. 1226. Right, not right. Wait, no. The timing there? 126. Yes. 126. Okay, so exact same thing. Retesting. In this case, it was retesting actually my red one here. So it actually finally did make it up there. It also coincided with VWAP. It didn't make it to the top of this one, but that's because red was in the way. It also, this white was vaguely in there, I guess. I've moved this one around, but mostly just because of this red and VWAP. I'm like, my stop will be here, breaking the red. I got it on... Oh, I was late on that one, actually. Yeah, I didn't get a nice fill in there. Yeah. This one was a little harder to hold just because my fill was late. 126. So once that candle closed, I was like, all right, I'll jump in here with my stop up here. Kind of a little ways from it, but in this case, I could have waited for it to retest. I didn't, so it grinded up. This was, yeah, not the most delightful 7 minutes of liquidity build. But I held through it, stuck to the plan, and yeah, closed the first one at 139 for 860. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys the strike. I haven't even looked at it on here, actually. Because if I picked a different strike, this would have been a much higher percentage, I believe. 6,500, yeah. I'm just going to show you on Webull. This is the naked chart I usually use. 126. So again, I was just looking at the price, wasn't looking at the actual strike. My target at this point is gap fill or even just low of day. I'd probably get, depending on where the strikes were, I'd probably get something near low of day. So I'm getting it here at 120. It's a minute off on Webull. It's like a minute ahead or whatever. So I should have been getting 480, probably 490s, or sorry, 6490, 6490. That's the strike I should have been getting. And if we look at the percentages, I guess we could do that. Did we? Yeah, I guess so. I don't like to make videos too long, but this is for myself anyways. Journaling sake. What strike looking at? 6490. So 6490, let's look at the chart. 126, it's gonna be at the lows. So right here, yeah. So if I had gotten that strike, or let's say 280, would actually get it at, well, I got 650s or 6500s. So 750 to 860. I closed it. So that's what, like $100 or $1 a contract. I closed it at 139, 126. Price is kind of a lot. 126 to 136. I'm just looking at the contract price right now. I went 337, 273 to 337. So not a whole lot of difference if I pick the other strike on that one, it looks like. However, on my second exit, I don't know if it's going to be the same. So second exit was at 152. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I held it for a long time. So this was the whole move I was trying to get. This one on here, $7.50 to $17. So awesome on that strike. I want to see what it is on the other one. So 126 to 152. I'm not going to do the percentages. We'll just get a rough idea. 26 to 152. Now if I got this strike, that's 136. Whoops. Okay, it's about the same price. So 280, let's say. What was it? 152. Yeah, look at these candles start to get crazy. There's 52. Look at that candle. So, I mean, anywhere in here, 680. That would have been over 100%, like 120%. Is that right? Oh, was this a worse strike? Maybe. No, it would have been about the same. All right. So it was later than day. Interesting. Huh. However, okay. So in this case, I'm thinking it didn't matter a whole lot, unless I'm doing the math wrong. I'm trying to do it very fast. It didn't matter a whole lot because there wasn't as big of a move. If it kept moving down, it's dramatic. It's a dramatic difference if your strike is one further out. Once it gets in the money, you want the next one out of the money for it to get in the money. So this one ended up going all the way to $10. Or I just go crazy with all this stuff right now. Let's just go back to what we're doing. I just want to view it on here now. Yeah, so it's 860, or no, $7.50 at 126 to 152. it's not that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, 126, 152. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was this one. That's right. On this candle, held through all this. Close the first one like here. And the second one, oh yeah, on that one. I got awesome slippage on that one too. So I was kind of trying to figure out where to close this one, and this ended up being the gap fill. So it did perfectly fill the gap. I got a nice exit on here. So yeah, this move to this to here was, isn't that over 100%, I think? Yeah. Yeah, because that'd be 14. Yeah. Yeah, so over 100% on that. And maybe if that strike was a fine strike for then, because 64.90. Yeah, because it didn't have to go any further. That's interesting. Next one was at 313. Let me see the little account. Okay, so little account. This is where the strike was definitely noticeable. And it's more noticeable probably on SPY because there's more strikes because it's a much lower value. So you have strikes basically, more often in the chart, if that makes sense, as opposed to SPX, I think. Or maybe it's just completely relative. That's kind of the way I think it is, and I've noticed. 243. I got a call for 13 cents. Didn't have much buying power left. I could have gotten 2 of these, and I should have. But at this case, the 2 different strikes, this one I got was 13 cents. If I had picked the next one closer to the money, it was 1 in the money. It was kind of going in and out. It was like 40 cents. I couldn't afford it, and this one was 13. And I was like, yeah, I'll just take the 13. Again, I wasn't really looking at it, but this was a 649 call at 243. So right here. Right there. So engulfing candle, inverse head and shoulders. I'm just thinking lack of continuation of the downside at this point. We've got shoulder liquidity here, inverse head. Grabbing it here. It hadn't broken like... Or no, maybe it did. It had broken my red. Yeah. Retested it, kind of. I guess... Oh, yeah, okay. So my purple is my my stop loss on here. So that was the risk I was managing. Made a nice... So I was looking basically for calls here to get VWAP end of day. Is it here? Is that right? I'm all confused now. Yeah, 243. So engulfing candle. I'm looking for an entry. Got it on the next candle here. Little red candle. And this contract, it was like just the right strike. 649. Wow, so it was 1 out of the money. But yeah, the 48s were too expensive. So the market was definitely not pricing in at 649. Move. However, this thing went from 13 cents. At one point, it was up like 80% in that tiny move. And I didn't actually take profits on it. This is such a small contract, and I don't know what I was waiting for. I don't know. I'm confused now why I didn't take profits. 649. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just checking the chart. 243. 243. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. So 243 was 12 cents. Yeah. So or 13 cents. Got it for that. This thing went up to 23 cents. I guess that's not, let's see, 1530. Yeah, not quite 100%, but 70, 80%, whatever it was quite a bit for this tiny move. I didn't take profits because basically on this one red I was going to, and then a VWAP. Or no, this one was just going to be kind of a lotto. That's why I didn't take profits. I set it, and then I put actually an automated order to sell it if it came up here. If we had that move. And then once it came down here, I was like, I'm just going to put a break-even stop. So that's what I did. It was a small amount. It was a little lotto. It was green on the account. So that one stopped out. But yeah, that would have been actually, if I just had bigger scale, that's a large percentage. And I think it's because the strike was right. Of course, later in the day helps too. Big account. I think I had a couple red trades here in today. A couple good ones though. So 258. We've got one stop there. 313, 314. What is that calls? Puts. Yeah. Yeah, this was a chase. I don't usually enter on chases, but I did on this one. So VWAP retest, broke the purple, never gave me a retest entry really. Starting to grab this liquidity, and I grabbed it as with green as my risk, and got it here, and then it broke it, and just that time of day it was kind of a red trade. Not my favorite. Not a small red for how small it was, if you know what I mean. And then I was in and out, break even on one. And then a small, oh, then I was like, wait, I need to start looking at these strikes. Then I looked at the strikes and I was getting further out of the money then. Small red trade, 342, 343 on puts. Oh yeah, okay, so this is for a resistance trade. Made this nice shoulder, it had this inverse cup. Thinking this might be handle. We're also at the resistance here of red. This is kind of an end of day trade. It was right here. I didn't really wait for candles to close. Or it was actually after this candle's big wick. I entered on this one, stopped out on that one. This was my stop, so this was just for a move back down to purple, back down to low day, potentially flushing down 5-day in the last, you know, whatever, 10-minute move. That didn't work. Small loss though, 110 to 80 cents. And then this trade was sick. It's just such a small move, but right strike. Yeah. So $1.15, I got 5 calls at 344. So since this was not resistance and it flipped, this was the break. So on this candle, on this red candle, small retrace, I got 5 of those calls for the strike, I think right here. And yeah, it's the final, whatever, 30-minute move. 115, sold the first one at $1.80 at 345, literally the next minute. Next one at 346 for $1.70. 347 for 240. That was my best fill. 47, yeah, it was that. It was a fleshy, or not fleshy, but a rippy one through VWAP. So then I had 2 left. Then we got this big. Oh no, then I think I sold one more on that same minute. Yeah, 240, and then 215 right on the next minute while still hanging out there VWAP. And so I was trying to get out of, scale out of quite a bit before the 10-minute candle, because sometimes that'll go against you, like this one did. So I only had 1 left. It came down here. I held through it. It was actually went red. But the fact that it was kind of a little bit out of the money, it wasn't very red right here, which was nice. I didn't close it because this was my support, so I thought it could be retesting that. Sure enough, it was. It rallied back up. I think I closed this one. It actually went up to like 250, 260. It went higher than any of my other fills, but I just didn't get an exit on it. It was on, like, this candle did like 240, 250. I closed it on this just little red candle. It went from 240, 250 down to 140, like in an instant. So still green on that. Big account's nice and green. Little account, nice and green. So happy with the Monday. Need to remember to look at strike prices. Those are the fills in the small account. Gotta pay attention to strikes. Yeah, I think that's gonna help. Happy today with my entries. Exits too. I wasn't too greedy. I was taking it on low of days and on fleshy candles. Was holding until then. Yeah, I think the price action was good. I just have to remember days where I'm not as comfortable with it. I don't like the way it looks as much. Just can't get back. Thanks for watching, guys. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Monday sticks around. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.